Do you or someone you know suffer from rosacea? Good morning, my name is janaelston. I'm a beauty educator, trainer and blogger, and I'm here today to talk to you about rosacea. What causes rosacea? What is rosacea? And how can you best manage rosacea? What kind of skincare products can you use? And how to care for your skin, as in lifestyle, diet. So if you know somebody who has rosacea, why don't you tag them into the live broadcast or share the live broadcast and join me as I answer your questions. If you do have a question, please don't hesitate to post it in the comments below. So what is rosacea? Rosacea is an inflammatory condition of the skin. So people with rosacea often get redness in the skin around the cheeks, the nose, forehead, and the rosacea can come and go initially. So people can get a flush, they're very prone to flushing, and in the very beginning it's not a permanent condition. As rosacea develops, however, it can become more of a problem down the track. So rosacea can go through different stages. So what causes rosacea? Most of the time, in my experience dealing with clients, most of the time rosacea is caused by stress. Stress, anxiety, worry, lifestyle factors that affect the stress on the body, such as not sleeping well, working long hours, not taking enough time out for yourself. So rosacea is pretty much triggered by stress levels. Sometimes hormones. It may have a genetic predisposition, so some people find that it does run in the families. However, the triggers, it doesn't matter if, it does not mean that just because it's in the family that everybody has it. So it's definitely something to do with the lifestyle. Some of the clients I have dealt with, I found rosacea was a result of foods they were eating, and they often tell me, oh, I'm just not been very good with my diet and I'm not eating very well, perhaps a little bit too much wine every day, processed foods, gluten, wheat products, sometimes dairy products. It varies from person to person. Most cases is stress and sometimes food related when it actually gets a little bit worse. So what does rosacea look like? Rosacea initially is like a blushing redness to the skin, and you may find visible capillaries in later stages of rosacea. Because what happens in rosacea, the inflammation in the tissues causes a dilation of the capillaries and causes a lot of blood to be released into the surrounding tissues from the capillaries. So it causes the redness and heat in the skin. So the skin can feel quite hot. Temperature goes up. So that's stage one. In stage two of rosacea, people can often get symptoms that appear like acne. So sometimes it's called acne rosacea. It's not true acne. It is not related to oil. It is not you often find people with rosacea don't have a problem with clogging and blackheads and excessively oily skin. In fact, people with rosacea feel their skin is really tight and they want to moisturize it and relieve the tightness. So it feels tight and it can feel rough. And in stage two, when they develop these little pupule-like rash, so the tiny little red spots, initially they're flat and eventually they become raised as well. They can sometimes feel itchy. So the sensation is hot, it's rashy-like sensation, and the skin can become raised. If rosacea keeps on to develop and it gets worse, so if it's not managed well and it develops to stage 3 or 4, the skin starts to thicken. And there is a condition known as rhinophyma, which is the thickening of the skin specifically around the nose. The nose skin gets very, very thick and the nose actually grows, or the skin grows, so makes the nose appear large. It's found mainly in Caucasian skin. So typically pale skin people tend to suffer more from rosacea and the associated symptoms. And it's initially it does come and go, but eventually it becomes and settles in and stays for years. So where before it was triggered by stress, if the problem develops into a more permanent condition down the track, it can stay there for years. I once treated a client who had, who told me they had rosacea for the last 18 years, and it was just a permanent diffused redness all over the face. She actually, it spread out and she had it all over as well. Face only, didn't affect the neck or the chest, which was very interesting. So what other causes? I talked about stress and perhaps some dietary. So if your lifestyle is poor and you're suffering from rosacea, keep a food diary and see if you find that there is certain foods that trigger your rosacea symptoms. There may be the processed foods, the foods that put stress on your body. So processed foods, too much sugar, too much wheat, which changes to sugar eventually in your blood. Certain people with processed foods with lots of chemicals in them, preservatives, colors, and so there might be something in there that you may be sensitive to, and your body is reacting, trying to get rid of it, trying to eliminate it through the skin. So I would keep a food diary and see if you find a trigger there. Yes, rosacea has been in the past associated to alcohol, but it's not necessarily so. People with rosacea, there's many people with rosacea who don't drink alcohol. Now, in recent times, there has been a link to the Demodex mite. Demodex mite, if you can Google it, you can have a look. It's a tiny, tiny little mite that naturally lives on our skin. Actually, in recent times, they found there's two different mites, one that lives around or in the hair follicle, and another one that particularly loves the sebaceous gland and lives in the sebaceous gland. And what they found was that people with rosacea were 15 to 18 times, or they had 15 to 18 times greater amount of these Demodex mites on the skin. So the theory is, or the question scientists are asking, is it possibly that these people have developed a sensitivity, allergy to the mites themselves, or the feces that they deposit in our skin and they have an allergy to that? So this is something that scientists are researching at the moment to find out whether the Demodex mite might be the cause of rosacea in some people. With some people who have rosacea, they may also develop itchy, red, swollen eyes as well. The Demodex mites do also live around our eyelashes, in our eyelashes too. So perhaps that may be a cause there. So how do you manage your skin when you suffer from rosacea? So in the early stages, it is important to use anti-inflammatory, calming and soothing products. So look for skincare that is developed for sensitive skin. If you can find something that's specifically for rosacea, even better. Sun can also make rosacea worse, so you must protect your skin with the sun from the sun every single day. So wear a really good sunscreen. It causes the heat and the flushing, which can then trigger the other rosacea symptoms as well. So do make sure you wear good sunscreen. And use skincare that is specifically developed to calm redness, reduce heat in the skin. So also lifestyle factors, you need to avoid very hot showers, a very heavy strenuous exercise that causes the skin to become very heavy, hot and red, hot and red. So perhaps keeping that to a minimum or switching to another form of exercise that doesn't cause you to go so hot and red as well. And then when the rosacea starts to develop into these rash-like symptoms, sometimes mistaken as acne, please don't treat it as acne. Don't start using acne treatments on it with alcohols, typically, benzoyl peroxide and so on. It won't help. It's actually going to make the condition worse. So as it develops further into a worsened condition, it's really best to go and see a dermatologist, go and see a doctor, because they have some really good prescription products that can help people with more advanced stages of rosacea. But if it's in the initial stages, skincare that is gentle, kind, soothing, calming is your best option. Facial treatments as well, stick to something that's for sensitive skin, calming and soothing and anti-inflammatory. I would stay away from microdermabrasion, anything that causes a lot of heat or friction, irritation in the skin. It's not a good time to have these treatments while you have the rosacea symptoms on the skin. So microdermabrasion is not going to help. It'll make it worse. Laser treatments, you've got to be careful. You have to really see a specialist. I know there are some laser treatments that can help, but you really need to get the right one. So you need to talk to somebody who's really, really experienced in this area. Now, interestingly, I have found that glycolic peels can help rosacea, or salicylic peels, because they're anti-inflammatory. And some people responded that vitamin A also helps improve their symptoms of rosacea. But this is when it gets to the stage 2, where they have the papule-like lesions. So it may be that you may need to try different things for your skin to determine which one actually works. So I would initially just take some samples home from your beauty therapist, talk to them about that you have rosacea. Actually, rosacea needs to be diagnosed by the doctor. So to make sure that you actually do have rosacea and that it's not something else. So once you have confirmed with the doctor that it is a rosacea problem, then talk to your beauty therapist about appropriate skincare to help to manage and keep it down as much as possible. Because rosacea, unfortunately, once it develops, it is a lifelong skin condition that needs to be well managed. So initial stages, look for calming and soothing. If it develops into something more like a papule, then I would look for something, perhaps try a glycolic peel or glycolic salicylic peel, vitamin A. And when it develops to stage 3, where the skin starts to thicken and it becomes a really bad problem, I would definitely go and see a dermatologist, because they have some really good solutions for you. Now, let me talk about cuperose. Cuperose is a condition that's often mistaken for rosacea. Cuperose is a cosmetic condition, whereas rosacea is more of a medical condition. Cuperose is dilation of capillaries. And cuperose, unlike rosacea, where it initially can come and go, with cuperose, once it starts to appear, it's there all the time and progressively can get worse over time. It tends to appear in women and men, again, lighter skin conditions, Caucasian skins, in their 30s, beginning in their 30s, and it's caused by UV damage. Yes, they can be predisposed to the condition through genetics, because it can be passed down through genetics, such as in Irish skin, English skin, where they've got their beautiful peaches and cream skin. So they've got beautiful white skin and then that rosy cheeks. Those rosy cheeks eventually can develop into a what's known as cuperose. And cuperose is literally the dilation of the capillaries, and the capillary wall has become damaged over time. See, our capillaries are there to open up, allow more blood flow to come through, and then they reduce back to their original size. And that's to control the temperature of our skin, of our body. And over time, in a person who's predisposed to cuperose or has had a lot of sun damage, UV damage, that capillary wall becomes damaged. The collagen, elastin, that makes up that capillary wall has been damaged, so the capillary becomes very slack. It's no longer elastic. It can no longer shrink down and well, what's the opposite to swollen? So it can no longer bounce back. There you go. It can't bounce back to its original size. So it permanently stays dilated, and that's what we can see from the surface. So a Cooperose condition is different. It doesn't develop into an acne condition or thickening of the skin. With Cooperose, you don't always feel the heat, and Cooperose usually appears first around the chin, the areas actually where the sun hits your skin. So the chin, the cheeks, the neck, the décolletage, any area that is open to the elements, to the UV damage. So that's where you see a lot of Cooperose. So in women in their 40s and 50s, I often see here in Australia, they have a lot of redness and Cooperose around the neck and décolletage, and then they will have it around the cheeks, the chin, and the forehead as well. So how do we treat people with Cooperose? We also use skincare specifically designed for Cooperose that not only helps to calm the redness, but supporting ingredients to help to strengthen the capillary wall. So the capillary wall is made up of collagen and elastin, so you obviously want to use products that contain ingredients to stimulate collagen and elastin in the skin, such as peptides. Vitamin C are very useful. Treatments include, there is great laser and IPL treatments you can have to reduce the symptoms of Cooperose. And in worst cases where the capillaries become really large, diathermy, or through electrolysis has been very useful as well. Masks, fantastic at instantly reducing that redness in the skin and calming down that associated redness. So all you're left with is a few capillaries that you can then go and have treated with laser or with the electrolysis or diathermy. So Cooperose is a very different condition and often mistaken for rosacea, and often actually people with Cooperose come to see me and say, I've got rosacea. I said, so we have to talk about lifestyle factors. Does it come and go? Does it get worse? Does it ever break out? And that's how we determine whether it's Cooperose rosacea, because the treatments are different for the skin conditions. So there you go. If you have any questions about do you have Cooperose or rosacea and you would like to talk to me, why don't you join me on the group, the Beauty Business Students group? You can have a more personal conversation with me there. I'll jump on there. I'm there pretty much all weekend. If any questions come up, I answer them. You can always private message me if you would like me to have a look at your skin. Take a photo of your skin, private message to me, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. So I shall see you again next Saturday for Skin Tips Saturday Live at 8 o'clock. Until then, have a fantastic week. Bye for now.